Okay, this is a video of how to reuse one of these expandable foam cans. The method I have been using involves using these zip ties, what I'm calling a zip tie. I fold it over, I cut the end off and fold it over like this and shove it in here. We're just going to show that this works. This has been set up for a minute. What I do is I grab onto it and I twist in a twisting motion and pull at the same time. This has been giving me a hard time here, so you can just pull it out and that's what it'll look like. Same with this end here. I grab onto the end of it and twist it and pull this. And then this screw here, I want to show you in a moment. Sometimes I'm strong enough to just do it with my fingers, but I either use some pliers or a screwdriver and twist it. You just have to back it out just a little bit and then you'll be able to unscrew it. You're not pulling how I just pulled the other one straight out. You're not going to try to pull this straight out. Unthread it. And then you'll have the stuff that's hardened up on there. This is just stuff from the last time. You can just take that off and throw it. Alright, so we're just going to demonstrate that we are able to reuse this from the last time. This is about gone. There it is. Okay, so now I have two different sizes here, or you can see one has, well, it's kind of messy I guess, but this one has a little bit more on it lengthwise. That's the one you want to stick into your tube. And it's dripping some there, so you can either wipe that off or because it's expanding out. So put this back in your tube. And I think it's because I'm shoving it in there too much. But just slide that right in there. Back this off. And then take your screw that you had and twist it in there all the way until it goes to the very end of it here. Really easy, that's done. Same here with this. You just find the hole and shove it in until it stops. And this loop is so much, I think that's what's giving me a hard time. These are 8-inch long. Whereas before, when I very first started, I was using these small ones. These are 4-inch long. And you end up having something like this, which works. If you happen to have some that are 4-inch only, this will work. And you can kind of get a hold of it when you do that twisting motion. It's not so much that you have to work with, I guess. I don't know. But that'll set up both sides of these, and we just demonstrated how this works by putting a screw in the end. And that there, I'm going to show you here now. This is what's been coming on these brand new cans. It has some sort of where you pull it, you push it out and it turns green, which means that's how when you know you can start using the foam, and you can stop this by pulling it in, it turns red. I don't know if it was an operator error, but I tried to do that and I was not able to use the can. What I do for a living during the day, it might take me an hour before I use the can again, and it hardened up on me. So I don't know if this is just so it doesn't make a mess when you're squirting this stuff out, and then you put the can down. We saw how it oozed out a little bit more. Maybe this is just to, if you're just moving along and you're using it on a continuous basis, not to make such a mess. But it hardened up on me. long term, you know, in an hour or more. So I'm not really sure if that was just me or if it's the only intention is just to not make a mess while you are using it, the whole can at one time. So what we can do to get to this situation here, you can take this and just pull it off. Okay, and then you're left with this green tip, and you can take this. I've been using two things, and you can do maybe with your hand or something, but you just pull it right out. Oh, I lost grip of it. You can do this. There you go. Just use your hand. Pull it out. So then now you have this tube here. Okay, so back to what's going on with these. This is a 3/16 screw. And so if you want to go to the hardware store or something, if you want to start doing this, you'll just, anything you have that you can put in there very easily. You know, there's no screw, I mean, it's loose. That's what you want. Something that you can stick in there that's loose. Okay? And back with these ties, what I do is, like I said, this is a little bit too much, but just cutting off the very end of it. And when you fold it over and shove it in the end here, sorry, it's loose. Again, that's loose there. And the point I'm trying to make is when you go to these, when you're looking at these bigger zip ties, this won't fit in the end here. That's how you know that's not going to go in there or into the end of, or the nozzle of the can. It doesn't fit in there. So these aren't good for this situation. But using these smaller ones, it goes, you know, when you fold it over and it's loose there. So what we're going through is three different things that we could possibly use. Okay, so we've seen that works. So we can let that set up for a moment. Now this other thing I'll show you here, which I've used and it works, is using these drywall screws. These are called 6X. I think these are 2 1/4 inch. I'm going to either edit something in or show you a picture of these. These are 14 cents a piece, which is a lot less expensive than if you have to buy a can of these every time. So again, we're going to show that this slides in and out. This is a little bit more grip, but this does slide in and out of here, both at the tube and sets in there nice of the can. There's this other one I had when I tried this. I happened to have this in my toolbox, and it worked. It did work, but I had to thread this in here. It doesn't slide in there real nice. And I had one can end up, I mean, it's like this worked and then it also didn't. So I just try whatever you want to use, make it so, and same here with this tube. It doesn't really want to fit it. I had to force it in, and you can see it has stuff on there that's set up. And I think I had, you know, a hit and miss. It did work on occasion, and then also no time it didn't. So, but these that had worked for me, it's called 6X. That's the size. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a demonstration with the 6X drywall screw. Thread this up. right. You see that? It's going on there. Okay, it's coming out, make a little mess. Slide this in. You'll see it wants to cut. Watch this, how it wants to. The gas is going to push it out. So make sure you keep pushing it in there. Leave some so we can get a hold of it with our pliers. Or if you use a screwdriver, probably on these. But watch it how it comes out like that. See, it's pushing it all the way out. So you want to watch that and push it back in. We're going to put a brand new screw in here. Just set it right in there like that. I'm going to leave a little bit on there so I can grab a hold of that. Down on this end. And here, it's oozed out a little bit on there. We're just going to push that and set that right in there. So that's going to be that method. That we're going to see later. And this one I have not used yet. But these nails are the same size. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I'm going to try to set it up. But you can see that the drywall screw that I had trouble with, it's a bit wider. You can see the threads of the drywall screw that I was having a hang up with. But these, again, will fit. These are fitting in the end here and sliding in nice and into the top. So whatever you might have, maybe you have some sort of a skinny bolt or something, anything you can find that fits in these holes real easily. So we're going to try this. I'm just curious if these nails work. I don't know what size these nails are. It's not really my field. So we're gonna, there's that. Plug this up. See, it wants to shoot out. Maybe we need to take this off first. Set that up. These are still setting up. Put a new screw in there. And in here. There we go. This one's set up. And with these, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about this real quick. These screws that we back out of the nozzle, that's pretty thick with stuff, and it still works. It always goes in, but not a bad idea to scrape some off, and then you can just end up with something like that to keep reusing. But I had this one that, as long as it still fits in that hole, that's enough. But not a bad idea, right? Pick some off. All right, so we'll let these set up, and we'll see what we will have. Okay, we're going back to these again. Here's the first one. Just pull that straight out. I didn't mention before, when I was using this shorter zip tie, it pulled straight out and didn't have the, it came right out of it. So I ended up going to this longer one. It still work. Okay, again, I'm trying to turn this and pull it. There that is. And with the screw, I'm not using my plier. Just twist it once, and it's enough to back it out. This one's about out. So that's confirmation on this. I'll slide this in here. Probably not a bad idea to skim some of it off, but it's still going in. I'll back this off. Push that in. Slide that back in. It's my routine. I usually hang it like that so it sets up and doesn't make a mess. Again, make sure this isn't pushing out, it's staying in. You know, the pressure's not pushing it out. Let's see what's going on with these screws. I don't know if I can, well, I pulled that straight out. What's up with this? That pulled straight out. That came out. That seems, I don't know about that. That seemed too easy. But there it is. So these 6X drywall screw, you just push it in about an inch, inch and a half, leave some out. Oh man. No bueno. This and this. And then make sure that that's not pushing that out. That's set right in there. Now let's try this nail. I've never tried the nail. This is the first time I've done this. Pull it right out. That backed right out. And that. And I don't know if you need to be plugging this thing up or not, because I watched the video and they weren't. But it seemed like I had trouble. There we have it. Liking the nail method. Boom. Boom. So this one, it's got some stuff on it, you got screwed in there, but it's worth it. There we have it. 3 methods. That's the end of the video. Something we can go further with. I came across one of these, wasn't sure what was going on with it. This screw here, I'm going to use this real quick since I know how that works. But what I did, if you should have trouble, I ran this in here. It's like, remember we talked about how it could fit in there or slide in? It's stopped up. And with these, I don't know why, we're putting the zip ties or the nail or the screw only to here, and then we're plugging this up. As far as this area, I don't know why it's not hardening up. Not complaining, because these other videos I'm watching, these guys, they're running. See how I screwed that in there and got this stuff here. And that's what I was going to show, is I saved some earlier of what I was getting out of there. So if you should get something that, if you do get it hardened up in there, you could run one of these 6X screws in there get the stuff off or out of there. You know, it threads, it gets on the threads, and then you can back it out to clear these out. Because I think some of the other methods are involve using, I think we're good now. This will come off here. Involve using solvents and whatever. So this is a way to clear it out. I watched one earlier where a guy was shooting WD-40 after he used it initially. So I don't think, yeah, see there's more in there. I don't know if we can get a hold of it and pull it. That might have done it. There it is. It's clear now. So that's how you would clear this out, is running it. Looks like we can get halfway this way and halfway that way or something, I don't know. But if it should get clogged up, you can run a screw in there and thread that stuff around there and pull it out. And probably the same thing with the tip of the can. Get it in there and clean it out. But I say that, but there was one time where the can froze up and I don't know what, I couldn't clear it out at all. So best wishes with one of these. Use these thin, either clipping it off and using these thin things, fold it over on itself. The 6X drywall screw, these are 2 1/4 of an inch long. And that was the longest I could find. And then these nails, as long as, you know, if you go in there to the store, try to find it, take one of these in there with you, and as long as something fits in here loosely, maybe you have something, as long as it fits in there loosely, and same thing with the drywall screw or nail, fits in there really easily, you'll have it. Best wishes.